Thank you for tuning into our podcast, Canal Days, what life was like in the industrial Connecticut River Valley of Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining us today is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Comoon. He personally offers and leads public and private tours, as well as presentations of historical sites throughout communities in the state of Massachusetts. Currently, the communities he has chosen to focus on this year are Holyoke, Chicopee, South Hadley, and East Hampton, and also Granby and Amherst as well. His tours spotlight the local canals, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks, streets, and selected historical houses within each community. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the Canals of Connecticut River Valley, Massachusetts, and what is this project about?
Yes, it's a special project this year into next year of 2025, and what's going to happen is it's funded under the Massachusetts State Level Cultural Council as one of their 100 projects that they approved of, each $2,500. So this is going to be a really good project. It's going to go through the Holyoke Preservation Trust, and I'm going to do most of the presentations and tours, but I'm going to have like 3 guest speakers also present on canals, and what we're going to do, we'll talk about the power canals, navigational canals, and people are going to find out a lot about this using my website. I'm going to have everything with pictures and videos so that even years hence people can still look at it. Now, the project is titled the way I wrote it, Canals of the Connecticut River Valley, and we're going to do places like the 6 power canals on the Chicopee River, 2 in Chicopee, 1 Ludlow, 1 in Indian Orchard, 1 in Winningham, 1 in Palmer. And I can present that at a few places like the Ludlow Library, Wilbraham Library, so forth. There's also going to be a tour of the South Hadley Canal and a presentation by another person about the South Hadley Canal. Hopefully we might have some in the Hampshire Canal. And definitely we're going to have the Holyoke Canal as a presentation. First time ever. I've given Holyoke Canal tours for 10 years now. And finally we're going to have one indoors where I present and talk about all the canals and many of the mills that are alongside it. Now, there might be other surprise canals because there's many more, including maybe the Agawam Canal of West Springfield, maybe some canals in Northampton. I know there's some up there. And some surprises along the way. So check it out and make sure you keep up and find one that might be your favorite.
What are some of the power canals?
All right, some of the power canals. The big doozy is the Holyoke Power Canal. Another one is the Chicopee Center Power Canal that powered the Dwight Mills and some of the predecessors such as the Ames Mills and the Cabot Mills. And there was one in Chicopee Falls at one point. And there was one in Ludlow, actually 2, right in a row, and they powered the Ludlow Manufacturing Company's mills, which made jute and twine. Right. Then there was one in Wilbraham called the Collins Power Canal. There were 7 of them in Northampton, and they were powering 1 mill each. And a lot of those are gone, so most people in Northampton wouldn't realize that there's several of them around. And of course, there's one in West Springfield called the Agawam. They used to power a paper mill. And these wonderful mills, some have gone away in these canals, most have gone away, but there's still enough left that I can give tours off of some of them.
And real quick before we continue with the rest of our interview, just to fill our listeners in, for more information or sign up for any of his various tours, you can check out his website at holyokecanaltour.org. And there you can find videos and podcasts of the stops on each of his tours, as well as photos and text of the historical sites throughout. And if you want private tours, you can email him directly at bobcat4214, @yahoo.com. And his tours make for fun, educational outdoor activities for families and group parties. So, what are some of the navigational canals?
The South Hadley Navigational Canal is the oldest navigational canal in the United States. Started in 1794, being dug, and it was ready maybe by December of that year, and definitely by April of 1795. It was 2.5 miles long. About half of that is still easy to recognize for what it is, a navigational canal. Its locks are still in place, and okay, I forget where we are. All right, so that South Valley Navigational Canal is, I can give a tour along, and it can be very useful. And we do that once a year, and we want to have a presentation on it. Oh, another person will give it. It's called the Great Falls. And also, another navigational canal is the Turnus Falls Navigational Canal, which is mostly gone. The Turnus Falls Power Canal is partly over it. And I want to go up to Montague in the Great Falls Discovery Center and give a presentation called the 6 Navigational Canals of the Connecticut River, including Enfield Falls, South Valley Falls, Turnus Falls, Bellows Falls, Olcott Falls, and then there's one more very high up. And I've given this talk already at the Sally Library, and I want to give it again this year at the Montague at the Turnus Falls Center. And there's other navigational canals around, such as the Hampshire-Hamden Canal, and we might have a speaker on that. So both power canals and navigational canals together will make a lot of events.
And how can people find out more about those events?
Okay, if you go to my website, oilcanaltour.org, and if you go to the left-hand side panel of my website, there's going to be a set of categories you can click on. And the best one to click on for this one, of course, is the one that says Events and Canals of the Connecticut River Valley. I'm going to try to keep it the fourth one down on the left-hand side panel, so that way you can get to it. I've already added like a dozen events, and it might be up to 15 or so events. So keep in mind throughout the next 10 months, it runs from September of 2024 to the end of June 2025. And you might find something you like. And I always have stressed canals for 10 years, and I'll probably stress another 10 years, and there'll be a lot more information on this. But I hope to see you at one of these events, whether indoors or outdoors.
And thank you, Robert, for educating us on our tours and historical topics of expertise. And we want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And you can find other podcasts on his website as well as on SoundCloud.com. And be sure to check out and stay up to date with more videos and podcasts posted daily. Thank you for tuning in.